before we dive into the technical details, let's talk about the vision behind this project. When Ritual Roadmap approached me, they had a raw DIY aesthetic in mind, something gritty and authentic, but still powerful and polished. So to achieve that, I decided to embrace a little challenge, and that is to use subpar equipment and forcing it to sound good. So now you might be wondering, why would you intentionally use less than ideal gear? Limitations can spark creativity. When you're forced to work with what you have, you often discover unique sounds and techniques you wouldn't have tried otherwise. This small amp, for example, on the surface, it might not look like much, but small doesn't necessarily mean a smaller sound. In fact, some of the most iconic tones in music history came from modest setups. Two examples. We have Entombed, they recorded on a PV Bandit. Got the really iconic Swedish death metal sound. We have Queens of the Stone Age, also recorded on some small PV combo and just weird amps. Got amazing, massive sounds. There is a lot to explore outside just the standard high gain amps that you're used to. First layer of guitars went into the HM2 pedal and then into the little mini amp mic'd up with an SM58, just straight into the dust cap of the cone, and it sounded like this. And then I tried to putting it on its back on the floor. Since this little combo is open back, I wanted to simulate a closed back. Okay, so compare the regular setup. So I have a little bit more oomph in the low mids. Then I also wanted to try to just put it against the wall instead of having it on the floor. And lastly, moved it out from the wall, so I just had it normally mic'd up. Run through them again, just so you hear the difference. For the bass reamp, I use the same signal flow line out from the interface into the reamp pedal and then into this rat pedal, which is awesome for distorted bass, and into the small guitar amp. But I also pair that up with AmpSim, the one knob STD Classic from Bogren Digital. It has a really cool sound, so it's easy to dial it in and get it to where I feel comfortable. The reamped bass gets a really dirty, it gives a really dirty high end, a lot of grit, higher frequencies. The one knob amp sim gives a really good low end, and together with the just clean DI, I think we have a really good bass sound. All the reamped tracks are zeroed on the faders. So what I usually do with guitar sound, at least, I start at the guitar group channel. And my go-to thing for EQing guitars and often distorted bass is the Poltech Mid EQ. Yeah, so I really like the Mid EQ 5 from Universal Audio, but we also have one included in Cubase, EQ M5. I have it here on a preset that opens automatically. So I have the low frequency on 1 kilohertz, high frequency on 1.5 kilohertz, and I boost those. And then I have the mid frequency on 300 and attenuate that a little bit. Make it a little bit more nasally and like gnarly, tweak a little bit. I want more of the HM2 sound. I'm gonna bring those up like 5 dB. They are a little bit too gritty in the top end, so we're gonna see if we can do something about that. Activate the low pass. And so we take away that it's not really any musical content in it, since this is such a musical sound. Yeah, we can probably boost a little bit more here at around 2K. Much more nasty. Let's go back to the guitar, listen with the drums and bass. I still want to have something more going on there. Put a little compression on it. So I usually don't put a lot of compression on the guitar buses, but in this case there's so much of that low end going on, so I think we need to tame it a little bit. And I'm going to show you like a guitar EQ trick to make guitars just sound instantly more evil. Boost 100, cut 200, and then boost 1K or 1.5K. You get that kind of HM2 sounds. If you're recording like a regular sounding distorted amp and you put that EQ on it, it will sound more like an HM2. Check this out. So, I mean, if it sounded HM2-y already, we get just to the next level. I'm gonna tweak a little bit. Okay, so we're starting to get somewhere. carving it out bit by bit. So let's check out the bass a little bit. So we have the DI. Bringing up some 2K to get some more of that distortion out. I already put a low pass to take off just a top end sizzling. Right now, I think we're gonna just keep the regular clean DI bass not in the mix. Yeah, and I have some EQ here on the bass knob STD. So we're gonna go down to the bass bus channel, bass group channel, Cubase Pultec mid EQ here too, 1000 Hertz, 1500 Hertz, boost 5, and I will cut around 2 dB or whatever that value is on 300 Hertz. So I had already an instance of Soothe on here to take care of all the layers of distortion and stuff. Next thing we're gonna put on is Gullfuzz. I'm using the master version in this particular case. So I'm using this sort of like an corrective EQ, but I'm putting a band pass filter on all the high frequencies because I don't like... I found a lot of times, at least on the music I work on, it starts to shift stuff in the higher frequencies, and that can get pretty audible. So I'm taking that down to about 3000 Hertz, and then I just have recover and tame on 25% each, and I don't touch anything else. Evens out some of the mid frequencies. So the first thing now is that the drums are poking out. I want them to be punchy, but they are poking a little bit too much. So I put this Studer 800 on it, but I'm not going through tape. I'm just doing the input stage, and I'm really driving this. So I'm kind of using it as a limiter, sort of. So if you look here at the meter here, you can see without it, it's a bit more lively. So we're basically clipping the transients.